last issue you dealt with is more like is one of the hottest points of this whole eschatological debate. Now, when they asked Jesus, the question they asked Jesus was quite pointed. When shall these things be? And what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the world? When Jesus talked about his coming in those passages, in Matthew 24, in Mark 13, and in Luke 21,
yes, sir.
Let me read. He said that, in verse 29, he said, immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of heavens will be shaken. Then will appear in heaven the sign of the Son of Man, and then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and glory and great glory, and he will send out his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heaven to the other. Now, when Jesus Christ gave this, teaching to his disciples, remember the question he's answering is, when shall these things be, and what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the world? When Jesus Christ responded to them, the sign that he gave to them, he said, when these things happen, all right, after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light, and on and on. Then he now said that when they will see the sign of the Son of Man, and he will send out his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So obviously, this gathering of the elect is after the tribulation of those days, not before the tribulation of those days.
Yes, sir.
Look, Matthew 24, very clearly in verse 29. It's immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Then will appear in heaven the sign of the Son of Man, and then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming with the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. When you see the language of Jesus or the Son of Man coming with the clouds of heaven, that's not a language that any Bible student will be completely unfamiliar with. This is the kind of language that was used in Acts of the Apostles chapter 1, when Jesus had ascended into heaven, and the disciples, they stood there on the mount watching him. After he had gone, they were still gazing into the heaven. Okay, the Bible says in Acts of the Apostles chapter 1 verse 10, and while verse 9, and when he had said these things, as they were looking on, he was lifted up, and a cloud took him out of their sight. And while they were gazing into heaven as he went, behold, two men stood by in white robes and said, Men of Galilee, why do you stand looking into heaven? This Jesus, who was taken up from you into heaven, will come in the same way as you saw him go into heaven. So that when you now see Jesus saying that there will be the sign of the Son of Man, and he talked about him now coming in the clouds of the heaven. This is simply a confirmation of what the angels were saying to the disciples here again in Acts of the Apostles chapter 1. Jesus Christ was received up into heaven when he went up in a cloud. It was physical, it was visible, it was bodily. And then when Jesus is going to come back again, he also said that this is how it's going to happen also when he's going to come back. There is going to be this same idea of, like you said, you will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. The second reference to this cloud of heaven is Daniel chapter 7, but I'm not going to go there now. Daniel chapter 7, verse 13, verse 14 talks about the Son of Man coming with the cloud. Him was given glory and dominion, all of that. So these are the allusions cloud that you have. But the point is this. Jesus Christ said very clearly that his return will be visible, and that his return will be after the tribulation of those days. And the purpose of that return is that the angels that is going to send, those angels are going to gather together the saints or the elect. Now, I know that there is a lot of reasons why some people believe that we are going to be taken away before Jesus' return after the tribulation. So it's called the pre-trib rapture position.